Your yard is growing free omega-3s, and you've been mowing them down every weekend. Not a metaphor, not an exaggeration. Certain weeds growing right now in your garden contain more omega-3 fatty acids than most fish, plus antioxidants, vitamins, and compounds that functional medicine practitioners charge serious money to put in a capsule. You pulled them last Tuesday. Nobody taught us to see weeds this way. We inherited the idea that a clean garden meant a cleared one, so we sprayed, we yanked, we bagged, and we threw away plants that traditional cultures spent centuries eating, healing with, and protecting. 6 of them are probably in your yard right now, growing without water, without soil prep, without any help from you at all. The most nutritious plants in your garden aren't the ones you planted. They're the ones you keep trying to get rid of. 6. Purslane. While some people are paying thousands of dollars for premium heart health supplements and superfood meal kits, you are likely stepping on a plant that offers more value for free. In the high-end markets of Europe and the Middle East, this plant is sold as a luxury green, but in your backyard, it's a target for your weed whacker. This is purslane, a plant that essentially functions as a living, growing fish oil capsule. It holds the record for the highest concentration of omega-3 fatty acids of any leafy green on Earth, paired with 5 times the vitamin E content of the spinach you struggle to keep alive in your raised beds. The beauty of purslane lies in its absolute refusal to die. While your expensive heirloom tomatoes are wilting the moment the thermometer hits 35 degrees Celsius, purslane is just getting comfortable. It thrives in the scorching heat of a driveway crack and loves the dry, compacted soil that would choke any other crop. It's the ultimate survival plant. It requires 0 fertilizer, 0 watering, and absolutely no pampering. You are literally destroying a heat-resistant, nutrient-dense pharmacy because society told you your lawn needs to look like a golf course. However, wealth requires wisdom, and you must be strategic about where you harvest. Never pick purslane from busy roadsides or public sidewalk edges where pets frequently relieve themselves. These areas are often contaminated with heavy metals from car exhaust or pathogens from animal waste. Instead, look for it in your own backyard or garden beds, where you know the soil is clean. Before you eat, you must also perform the SNAP test. Break a stem and look at the fluid inside. If you see a milky white sap, put it down immediately. That is the toxic lookalike known as spurge. Real purslane sap is as clear as water. You should also exercise caution if you are prone to kidney stones, as the high oxalate content can be a trigger, or if you are pregnant, as it's traditionally known to affect the uterus. For everyone else, it's time to stop throwing thousands of dollars at the health store and start harvesting the gold growing in your pavement. Before you keep watching, comment your state. If you ignore your USDA zone, you might pick the wrong plants from the start. I'll be pointing out the right zones as we go watch for yours. 5. Dandelion. It's one of the greatest ironies of modern life. We spend our weekends spraying poison on dandelions to get a perfect lawn, then drive to the store to buy expensive liver detox teas and vitamin A supplements. We've been conditioned to hate a plant that our ancestors literally couldn't live without. In fact, dandelions were so essential for health and survival that early settlers carried the seeds across the ocean in their pockets. They knew that when winter food ran low, this weed would be their primary source of medicine. The secret to the dandelion's power is its massive taproot, which acts like a biological drill. While your garden vegetables struggle in the top few inches of soil, the dandelion reaches nearly 2 feet underground to mine minerals and nutrients that other plants simply can't reach. This is why a single handful of its greens offers an incredible 558% of your daily vitamin K, more than almost any vegetable in the supermarket. From the roasted roots that make a gourmet, liver-cleansing coffee substitute to the antioxidant-rich yellow petals, every inch of this plant is designed to heal your body. Identifying it is easy. Look for those famous jagged leaves and a hollow stem that leaks a milky sap. However, you must be a smart forager. Only harvest from clean zones, where you are 100% certain no chemicals have been sprayed and no pets have used the area as a bathroom. If the ground is near a busy road or a public path, skip it. The plant is a sponge for pollution. For the best taste, pick the leaves in early spring. Once the yellow flower pops up, the plant sends its energy there, making the leaves turn very bitter. Also keep in mind that dandelions are a powerful natural diuretic. If you are on blood thinners, have gallbladder issues, or have kidney problems, talk to your doctor first. It's time to stop fighting the most effective health tool in your yard and start letting it work for you. If you're ready to stop fighting your yard and start letting it feed you, join our community here so you don't miss the next time we uncover a hidden gold mine in your backyard. 4. Lamb's quarters. Long before the first plow touched North American soil, Native American tribes weren't searching for seeds in a catalog. They were harvesting a towering green giant that we now dismissively call a weed. This is lamb's quarters, a plant with a history so rich it was once a staple grain and vegetable across the continent. While you might be struggling to keep your grocery store spinach alive through a heat wave, this wild spinach is likely thriving right next to your compost pile, offering a nutritional profile that makes cultivated greens look like amateur hour. The secret to its survival lies in its relation to quinoa. Just like its expensive cousin found in health food aisles, lamb's quarters is a protein powerhouse. It packs more calcium, more vitamin C, and significantly more protein than almost any leafy green you'll find in a plastic container. One mature plant can produce tens of thousands of black, protein-rich seeds that our ancestors would grind into a nutrient-dense flour. While your garden vegetables are begging for fertilizer and water, lamb's quarters is busy mining the disturbed soil of your garden edges, turning neglect into a high-grade mineral supplement for your family. Identifying this ancient crop is a tactile experience. Look for triangular leaves shaped like a goose's foot, but pay attention to the texture. The new growth is covered in a mysterious powdery white dust. This isn't dirt. It's a natural water-repellent wax that is a hallmark of the species. However, there is a catch. You must respect lamb's quarters is a biological sponge. It is so efficient at absorbing nutrients that it also sucks up toxins, heavy metals, and nitrates from the soil. If you find it growing near an old barn with lead paint or a road treated with chemicals, let it be. Only harvest from virgin soil, where you know the ground is as clean as the plant itself. In the kitchen, you can treat it as a direct superior upgrade to spinach. It has a robust, earthy flavor that doesn't turn to mush when sautéed with a bit of butter and garlic. Just keep in mind that much like spinach and beets, it is high in oxalates. If you have a history of kidney stones, enjoy this wild harvest in moderation. It's time to stop pulling this intruder out by the roots and start recognizing it for what it truly is, an ancient, free, and incredibly resilient source of life. But as impressive as these first few plants are for your health, the next one on our list is the only weed that can actually fix your soil and save you a fortune on fertilizer next season. You won't believe you've been mowing it down. 3. Stinging nettle. Most people's relationship with stinging nettle begins and ends with a painful, fiery welt and a vow to spray every square inch of their yard with herbicide. You see a hostile invader that attacks your family. But the moment you understand what is inside those stinging hairs, your perspective shifts from victim to harvester. That sting is actually nature's security system protecting one of the most concentrated mineral deposits in the plant kingdom. Before you understand nettle, you likely spend hundreds of dollars on synthetic multivitamins, iron supplements for anemia, and expensive allergy medications. You struggle with seasonal hay fever and joint inflammation, looking for relief in a plastic bottle. After you embrace nettle, you realize you have a green gold pharmacy growing for free. This plant is a literal iron mine packed with more magnesium, potassium, and calcium than almost any vegetable in your raised beds. It is so effective at calming the body's histamine response that dried nettle is a top-tier pharmaceutical treatment for allergies and arthritis. To identify it, look for the jagged heart-shaped leaves and the tiny needle-like hairs covering the stem. To harvest, you'll need thick gloves and long sleeves to bypass the security system. However, the real danger isn't the sting, it's the location. Never harvest nettle near old septic drain fields, manure piles, or industrial runoff. Nettle is a nitrogen lover and a bioaccumulator. It will suck up nitrates and heavy metals from contaminated soil and deliver them straight to your tea. Once you drop the leaves into boiling water for just 60 seconds, the sting is instantly neutralized. What's left is a rich, savory green that tastes like spinach on steroids. You can drink the emerald green broth as a tonic to rebuild your energy levels. Just a word of caution, because nettle is a powerful circulatory stimulant and diuretic. You should consult a doctor if you are on blood pressure medication or are pregnant. 2. Broadleaf plantain. One of the biggest mistakes homeowners make is treating plantain like an ugly weed invading the lawn. Those flat green clusters with broad leaves are usually viewed as a problem because they survive mowing foot traffic and poor soil with almost no effort. But what most people don't realize is that this common backyard plant has been used for centuries as one of nature's most reliable healing remedies. While modern households rely on creams, sprays, and expensive first aid products, plantain has quietly been growing under our feet the entire time, ready to help at a moment's notice. The secret behind plantain's reputation is its remarkable ability to calm inflammation and support skin repair. The leaves contain allantoin, a natural compound known for encouraging new cell growth and speeding up recovery. Fresh plantain also works like a drawing agent, helping pull irritation and toxins from the skin. That is why it has traditionally been used for bee stings, mosquito bites, rashes, splinters, and small cuts. Crush a fresh leaf in your hands until the juices release. Then place it directly onto the affected area. Many people notice relief from itching and swelling surprisingly quickly. It is essentially a living outdoor first aid kit that keeps returning year after year without any care. Plantain is easy to identify once you know what to look for. The broad, oval leaves contain several thick veins running in straight lines from the base to the tip, similar to celery strings. Young plantain leaves are also edible and provide vitamin C, iron, and other nutrients. They can be added to salads or cooked like greens. Still, because the plant contains significant vitamin K, anyone taking blood thinners or managing certain health conditions should consult a healthcare professional before eating it regularly. Instead of seeing plantain as a symbol of neglect, it may be more accurate to view it as one of the most dependable plants nature freely provides. 1. Chickweed. Most people see chickweed as just another messy little weed crawling across the garden after winter. It spreads low to the ground, pops up in damp, shady spots, and usually gets ripped out without anyone thinking twice about it. But this tiny plant has quietly fed people for generations. In fact, when gardens are still frozen and grocery prices keep climbing, chickweed is often one of the very first fresh greens nature gives you for free. The best thing about chickweed is its timing. It shows up when almost nothing else is growing. Late winter, early spring, muddy gardens, cold mornings, while your vegetables are still seeds in packets, chickweed is already alive and ready to eat. The leaves are soft, tender, and have a mild flavor that tastes a bit like baby spinach or fresh peas. Toss it into salads, soups, sandwiches, or smoothies, and it blends in easily. And despite how delicate it looks, chickweed is packed with nutrition. It contains vitamin C, iron, calcium, and magnesium, making it a surprisingly valuable wild green. People have also used it for centuries as a natural skin remedy. Crushed fresh chickweed was traditionally placed on burns, itchy skin rashes, and bug bites because it has a cooling, soothing effect. It's easy to recognize once you know what to look for: tiny white star-shaped flowers, small oval leaves, and thin green stems that spread like a mat across the soil. The younger plants taste the best, especially before the weather turns hot. Once summer arrives, chickweed starts getting tougher and fades away. But every year, it comes back on its own. No watering, no planting, no effort required. What most people call a weed is really one of the easiest free foods growing right in their backyard. When you take a step back and look at your yard now, what do you see? If you've been following along, you're no longer looking at a messy lawn or a list of chores to be killed with chemicals. You're looking at a diverse, self-sustaining pharmacy and a high-protein grocery store that functions entirely on autopilot. We've been conditioned to spend over $500 a year on lawn maintenance just to eradicate the very plants that offer us heart health, liver detoxification, and emergency calories. It is the ultimate irony we pay for the privilege of destroying the most resilient food system we own. The grocery store supply chain, the seed catalogs, and the synthetic fertilizer industry are all fragile systems. They can fail. But these weeds have survived ice ages, droughts, and centuries of human intervention without a single drop of help from us. They don't need your irrigation, they don't need your compost, and they certainly don't need your permission to grow. They are nature's way of ensuring that no matter what happens to the economy or the weather, the earth will still provide. The question isn't whether these plants are valuable. The science and history prove they are worth more than your carefully tended vegetable beds. The real question is whether you're brave enough to stop fighting nature and start harvesting its abundance. Next time you see a weed in your driveway, don't reach for the poison, reach for a harvest basket. Before you go, comment your state below. If you ignore your USDA zone, you might pick the wrong plants from the start. I'll be pointing out the right zones as we go. Watch for yours. Hit the subscribe button to join the movement of smart gardeners taking back their food security. I'll see you in the next one.